Hey beautiful thrivers, we're up to module 2 of solar line time management, and this one I'm going to talk about planning ahead, sort of pre-planning, segment planning, as well as calendarizing tasks, and why this will just so amazingly help your productivity. So planning ahead, one of the things that often business owners do, they'll go into a year and go, right, this is what I'm going to do this year, and by 6 months into the year they've gone, oh no, I haven't even started doing that. So giving yourself a whole year, you often find you put off doing the things. It doesn't feel quite urgent or needed. Whereas I find quarterly planning is much easier to manage your time and manage realistically what you can get done in a quarter. So I quarter plan, I look ahead and I go, for the next 3 months, what do I want to get done? I look at my business goals. And I look at my life goals, my personal goals, what am I working on? And very much it comes down to, I look at all the different life areas and I look at going, okay, this, I review them regularly. This one needs the attention. So I'm going to schedule some time in for that this month. And so the same as your business, looking at the different business areas, and you might have had a strategic plan that you were working on for longer term, but there's also looking at reflecting on the past quarter, what worked well, what didn't work, what do you maybe need to, relook at for coming on for this quarter. And so by really scheduling ahead of time what you're going to work on, you've got a better chance and guarantee at the end of that quarter, it's going to be done. So that brings in calendarizing, and why calendarizing is such an awesome tool, because first of all, it takes it off your to-do list, that never-ending to-do list that does never end. It takes it off that and stops it feeling like a bit of panic, or I've got all these things to do. It feels like, no, that's going to happen. I've calendarized in 2 hours on the 6th of June to work on this project, or to work on 3 hours here to overview our website or whatever. You've actually scheduled it into your calendar. You put it in, you block out a bit of time, and that's what you're working on. And likewise, to really block out ahead of time your health and well-being goals. I can't emphasize enough how they need to be a part of your calendarizing to make sure that, you are turning up on your A game. So really making sure ahead of time you're scheduling in those health and well-being goals, whether it's doing a Pilates or yoga class, or whether it's just time out, whether it's like, hey, I've had a busy period, I need some downtime, so I'm going to schedule in some time just to chill out and read a book or watch a movie. Like, really schedule that in and be really precious about your self-care time, or scheduling in a massage. I try and get one a month, so I make sure I schedule them in, because otherwise it's so easy to go the end of the month and go, oh my goodness, that didn't happen because life just got busy or things happen. Whereas if I really take that time, and for me, scheduling in a quarter, I can be done in an hour. It doesn't take much time, but I know those things, once they're in my diary, once they're blocked in, they will happen. And it makes, yep, sure enough, things come up sometimes. You go, I need to change my plans, because they're sort of in your calendar. I use a digital calendar. It's really easy to drag that block. I go, okay, well, where else can I fit it in? Okay, it can go over here. Now, the other thing to think of when you're calendarizing and putting things in is be really aware of when you have busy periods. Like if you've got a project or a launch coming up which is quite big, that that's going to be taking a lot of your energy. So a couple of things: probably schedule an extra self-care. That's definitely what I do. I both during and after a big launch or after a big event, I make sure I have 2-3 days with not a single thing in, so I have nothing I have to do. I think after my talk I did with Denise Duffield-Thomas the other month, I scheduled, I think, 4 days or 5 days after that with nothing to do. I even managed to send hubby and child overseas. So I had a house to myself and nothing I had to do, which was just what I needed, because it took a lot of my energy and a lot of time to build it up and do the event. And then I had the balance at the other side. So it's also looking at, when you have that busy period, be realistic with what social events you commit to. I know I've had busy periods where it's been really lots going on at work, and I've got to be realistic that actually I'd love to go to that party, but if I go to that party, I know that I'm going to feel crap the next day, and I'm probably not going to want to do the work that I need to do so that event is awesome. So it's really being ruthless of your energy and what you're capable of doing. Or you might go, okay, I can go to the party, but I need to be gone by this time, whatever. But it's scheduling in, it's being strategic about how you show up in your time and how you structure your time. Likewise, don't be putting heaps into your days. Don't be scheduling heaps in, because that you're going to have stuff that comes along, things that come along in your day, things that come up, emails, things to respond to. You've got to schedule in time for those as well, the day-to-day things that happen. But scheduling in just an hour or two of, at most, of things that will get you strategically towards your big goals by scheduling them in advance and knowing that that's the main thing that you need to be working on this day or this week. Sometimes I'll just say this week is when I need to get this done, and that's it. But by having them scheduled in beforehand, when you get to that week, I look at my calendar and go, right, this is what I've got to do this week. And then I adjust my calendar by anything else that may have come up this week, how I'm feeling, where I'm at. So I do let some of my feeling come into it, but it's still ahead of time. It's not in the moment. It's how I'm feeling ahead of time, going, yep, I sort of energetically feel into the week and feel what I'm willing to hold. And I sort of juggle those things around to make it feel like good energy. And so then when it comes to the day, I don't get to go, oh, I don't feel like doing that. It's like, nah, I know that if I get this done, I will be that much closer to reaching my goals. I'll feel good about myself and I'll be moving things forward. And I really find it so much easier just to get on and do the task when I know this is the only thing that I've got to do today to move my business forward. Then I'll get it done. And it's much higher chance of it actually happening and not just being pushed off again and again. I'm just looking at my notes to see if there's anything else to cover on. So I think that pretty much covers it. Oh yeah, so when you are calendarizing out, whether it's calendaring out your quarter, a month, or a week, I generally find if you put the biggest thing, the thing you want to do least of all, put it first. Because if you just keep putting off, the energy of that for the whole month, the whole quarter is going to be sitting there going, you've got to do me. And it sits there. So the thing that you want to do least, put it first. So the quicker you can get over and done with, the quicker it happens. Now, a tip, when you've got something like that, when you've got something that you really don't want to do, but once you've done it, you'll be so glad because it's finally done. And like most of these things, once you start doing it, like cleaning the house or sorting out a cupboard, once you start doing it, you actually get into it and you get into a flow and you get into a rhythm and you actually enjoy it. But it's the starting it which is an issue. So there's a couple of tools that I use to help me when I've got that thing that I don't want to do and I've just got to start it. So one is set a timer. Often I say, all I've got to do is for 15 minutes. If after 15 minutes I don't want to do it, I can stop. And that often helps me get into it. Another one is I write down 20 things of how I'll feel after it's done. I got, and just that takes probably a minute to write them down, and instantly I go, oh man, what am I wasting energy about? Let's just do it. That'll be great. I want to feel like that. And otherwise is, that's what a coach and accountability buddy is said for, or even social media. Say, right, I'm going to do this by the end of today, and I'll be checking in and letting you know I've done it. I use social media often for things like decluttering challenge or, even when I've gone sugar-free or done certain things, I've really used it for accountability. They said, right, I'm going to do this. And I sort of I've let the world know, and it acts as a bigger voice than my head saying I don't want to do it. So just find ways that, will help you and your personality to be accountable so you'll get those tasks that you really don't want to do. But I do say schedule them in either the start of the week or the start of the month or the start of the quarter, so you're not having that just hanging over you and draining your energy knowing it's coming up, but you're sort of and you spend so much angst of it, whereas you get it done at the beginning of that period and it's done.